Hello everyone, my name is Pat. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm bringing you guys a very exciting book tag, something that I've always wanted to do but kind of felt shy, embarrassed, insecure about doing, but now I just felt very excited to do this. So we are doing the books and makeup tag. Before we start, I want to say that if books are my first love, makeup is my second love. And I actually watched makeup videos on YouTube first before I watched booktube videos, before I discovered booktube. So yeah, I'm very excited, also a little bit nervous, and I know I'm gonna be talking quite a lot, so let's get started, shall we? I want to show you first sort of kind of my makeup collection, just so you have an idea of how much I love makeup as well. I started collecting books first, but then I started collecting makeup, and that kind of became my first ever like actual collection. So alright, so let's get started. First question is primer. Okay, so for primer, I recently started doing this, which is putting a huge amount of eye cream underneath my eyes before I put on makeup, because I have this really deep crease underneath my eyes, and it really just bothers me a lot because it just swallows whatever is around it and makes it crease so bad, no matter how much I set it, because it's just so deep. You can see it a little bit. Yeah, so I'm doing this trick to kind of try to alleviate that, which is to moisturize your under eyes a lot before you do anything, and then you put eye primer or eyeshadow primer on that part of your eyes as well. So for eyeshadow primer, I'm using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus primer. I have oily eyelids, and this is really good for that one. And then for my face primer, I'm just using the No Problem priming water from Touch and Soul. And the question for that one is, pick a book that left a lasting impression on you. And the book that I will be talking about today is actually my most favorite book of all time, and it is Stargirl by Jerry Spinelli. I actually didn't read it until I was in high school already, so I want to say I was 14, 15, and I remember hearing a lot about it, and I just wanted to read it, not necessarily because I knew what it was about, but I knew that a lot of people, it's kind of like a modern classic type of middle grade / young adult book, and it follows a girl named Stargirl who moves into this Arizona town, and she is described as eccentric, and this town is also described as, as a small town, and they know everybody, and of course seeing someone who's new and very different is very new to them. And so at first they started treating her like, they started isolating her and bullying her because she's so different, and that's how it started at first. And then the overall like public opinion of her changes as well as they got to know her, and then it changes back again. And we're following it from the perspective of a boy named Leo, who was very fascinated with Stargirl, and he's pretty much the male love interest. And when I read Stargirl, I was very emotional. It's a very short book, it's like 200 plus pages, and I remember crying because I felt so seen, because I felt like I could relate so much to Stargirl. She was very different. She's doing her own thing. She likes things and does things that not a lot of people do, and a lot of people think is unique and weird in a bad way. And so, for her, it's natural. It's things that she loves to do, and things that she loves, and stuff that she loves. She doesn't really see any problem with it. And so for her, it's like it didn't really matter to her before. But then, with people around her saying these things and acting this way, she's kind of forced to try to change who she is, even though she doesn't want to. She doesn't see anything wrong with it. And so I kind of really resonated with her a lot on that, and that she felt pressured to change because she was weird, she was different. And I felt like that when I was 12, 13, because that's when I started to like things that not a lot of people like and not a lot of people understand. So I really resonated with her, and I read it recently, and that time I resonated a lot with Leo and the other people around Stargirl, where Leo is also kind of suppressing a lot of the things that he enjoys and loves doing, because not a lot of people understand it, and not a lot of people, get why he likes certain things or does certain things. So he's kind of like suppressing it and changing it. And and I can see, you know, how miserable he was, because I kind of, you know, I resonated with him because I changed myself too to fit other people's standards and other people's likes and dislikes, to not be isolated from, you know, other people because I'm different. So yeah, I kind of resonate a lot, and that realization made me really sad and just kind of resentful that I had to change myself and my likes and dislikes just because people don't get it, people don't understand, and I didn't want to be isolated from people because of that. Anyway, yeah, so that's my thoughts on Stargirl. That's why I really like that story. Okay, the next question. Foundation. Favorite first book in a series. Okay, for Foundation, I haven't been really using Foundation because, you know, I don't really go out, and whenever I do, it's just for a few hours and I only use concealer. So it's been a while since I used foundation, but I will be using this one from L'Oreal. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Freshwear Foundation in the shade 485, and the first book in a series. Favorite first. One of the ones that I recently read is Scythe by Neal Shusterman, and that is highly hyped up. Like, a lot of people, oh gosh, I got that in my hair, like that book, so not really surprising. I really enjoyed it. It's both a character heavy and world building heavy type of book, which I like, because although I'm more of a character type of reader, if the world doesn't make sense and the world kind of just like operates around these characters and there's like plot holes and stuff, or like stuff that I don't understand, I don't enjoy it. But for Scythe, I really enjoyed it. It set up the whole series so well, and I cared about the characters so much already at that point. So Scythe, also The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. I actually read that book the year it came out, so I haven't read any of the other books in the series. I have the first 3 books in the series, and I know Mask Falling came out earlier this year, was it? Or late last year? Anyway, so I know that it came out. I haven't bought it, and I know there's gonna be more books coming out in the series. And it took a while for the series to pick up because like Samantha Shannon had other projects that she was working on, so it kind of got pushed back. And I'm a type of reader who's a binge reader, so I wait for a series to finish or almost finish before I read it. So One Season, I remember reading it and really enjoying the world and being really fascinated by it and the characters, but it was the only book that year when it came out, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna wait for everything to come out. And it's been years. I remember, I think I was still in high school, maybe even grade school or elementary when I first read it. It's been a while. Okay, next. Daughter Smoke and Bone 2. I remember reading that, and that was one of the first books that I read that are like beautifully written. Laini Taylor writes beautifully, like a poetic, lyrical type of way. So I really enjoyed reading that one, and that one kind of opened my eyes to the possibility of fantasy being written in that way, that I just found so beautiful. So yeah, those are my first favorite books in the series. Concealer. Pick some characters you wish didn't exist. Okay, alright, so for concealer I'm going to be using 2 things. This one is, I got this from BoxyCharm, and I was very surprised when I started using this because it was very close to my skin, so I was used to using a concealer that's lighter. But I really enjoy this one. It's more of a hydrating type of concealer, and it's not very high coverage. And then I'm going to be using also this one from the Stem. I got this in Korea, and it's very dirty. This is the Cover Perfection Tip Concealer. They only have 2 shades, and I have the second shade. So I'm using this in combination because this one is very close to my skin tone, this one is a little too light. So, characters you wish didn't exist. In Scythe, if you've read it, there's this character named Goddard that I just wanted to yeet off the pages when I was reading about him. Just wanted to yeet him off the page, especially as the story progressed. I wanted to yeet him off the page and just like, be gone, like nobody wants you. I was just so annoyed. I don't really get annoyed with characters. Like, I understand why they need to exist and why they act certain ways, but there are just some characters that are just hateful for no reason other than because they have a lot of hate in their hearts, you know. And then there's also from the Shatter Me series, Aaron's dad. I hated him so much. I hated Aaron for a while too, but you know, that changed. Oh, President Snow too in Hunger Games. Oh my gosh, I hated him too. Just the characters that I tend to hate in books are just, you know, those characters that are just pure evil. Like, why are you so evil? What's the point of being all red? Like, you're making people around you miserable and people are scared of you. I guess that makes you happy. And then, who else? Yeah, those are the characters that I wish didn't exist, but I understand why they kind of exist, but also kind of, you know, not. It's like, they're like modern day Trumps. you know, characters that I wish didn't exist, but and just, you know, the whole world will be a lot better without. It's hard to talk about it when it's a real life person. Like, there are just some people that are, you just can't understand, you know, why they have to be so despicable and so mean. I mean, what's a word? Like, why? What's the point of being so full of hate? You know, it's only you suffering when you're that, you know, hateful to everybody. So yeah, I'm just blending out my concealer. Oh, I'm using a puff. I enjoy using puffs and sponges instead of brushes because I find that with my skin type, I have acne prone skin. It just doesn't work well, you know, brushes for my base because it kind of moves texture around and picks up like dead skin and stuff, and it just leaves streaks on my face and I don't like it. So I use puffs because puffs work well in terms of like really pushing the product in and helps me use a lot less, even compared to regular sponges. So I use puff. Moving on, next question, we have powder. Pick your favorite last book in a series. Okay, so for powder, I'm currently using this one from Maybelline. I really like this because it has a little bit of a coverage too. This is the Fit Me powder in medium. I use this all over my face. And then last book in a series. Okay, so one that I recently finished is the Inheritance Trilogy. I have the omnibus, so I have the collection of the books plus the novella, and I really enjoyed the whole series in itself is really good, but I did find myself very confused during the first book. It's kind of my fault and kind of just the way it's written. For me, it was very confusing because they're like different perspectives and there's not a lot of really good world building for you to understand like what is it that they're saying or the context of what they're saying in terms of, you know, their status and where they are in society and stuff. So I was confused for the entire novel. First novel, honestly, and then by the second novel I was just a lot more used to it and aware of what was going on. But the third book is a lot longer and follows a character that I really enjoyed and really loved, and I enjoyed his growth and change throughout the book because I feel like he went through a lot in that book, and I just loved how he kind of dealt with it and stuff, and how much he's changed and stuff over the course of the book. Because the Inheritance Trilogy is about this world where the gods that used to rule the world have been captured and turned into slaves. That's pretty much the premise. And then in the first book we're following Yaina, whose mother was part of the Arameri, which is like the royalty in this world, and she didn't know about it up until her mother died and told her to go to Sky, which is like the castle or like the palace. And then when she gets there, she was told that she was in the running to be the next kind of king or queen, the next leader. Yeah, she's in the running to be the heir for the next Arameri leader. And then she learns about this culture that she didn't really know about, etc., and the gods stuff. And so yeah, again, I really enjoyed the last book in the series. It's a lot longer, and I just really love the change in the character that we had from there. I also really enjoyed Conjuring of Light, which is the last book in the Shades of London series. I recently finished that one. First two books are a little lukewarm, a little meh. I enjoy them, but I guess because it was very hyped up and I had a lot of high expectations, kind of disappointed me. And so when I went into the third book, I kind of, you know, toned it down a little bit, and that's why I feel like I enjoyed it a lot more. So, Conjuring of Light. Okay, the next question is eyebrows. Pick a book you think everyone should read. Okay, I have a couple for this one. Okay, for my eyebrows, I'll be using, I started with this one. This is a mascara. This is from CoverGirl. This is a Lash Blast volume in black brown. I use this one for my eyebrows. Okay, suggested reading. I mean, books I think everybody should read. One is suggested reading. This is one of my favorite books of all time as well. This is from Dave Connis. We are following a girl. I forgot her name. I'm really bad at remembering names. She loves reading, and I really enjoyed, you know, seeing her love for books because I resonate a lot with her, especially the first few books where she's reading the recent release from this favorite author that she has, and the way she just reads it and writes down her thoughts is very reminiscent of how I used to do it and how I still do it in a way, and just really resonate a lot with her and just her love for books and the way she starts questioning her love for books as well. I really enjoyed her journey throughout the book. And then I also have So You Want to Talk About Race by Iljeoma Oluo. I really enjoyed that book. I read it, I listened to it in audiobook, and I do plan on buying the physical copy and rereading that as well. And also Dear Ijeawele, A Feminist Manifesto by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. It's an email that she gave to her friend or she sent to her friend after her friend asked her how she can raise her daughter to be a feminist. And it's very eye-opening and very educational. It's very short. It's like a tiny book this thin. So I read it in like one sitting. It's like 70 pages. And again, it's very small. So yeah, those are some books that I think everybody should read. Also, eyebrows. This might not be done depending on what I feel like doing later. Okay, before we start with anything else, I curl my lashes first. The next one is eyeshadow, because I have stick straight lashes, and whenever I do end up curling my lashes after I do my eyeshadow, I lift up the eyeshadow and I ruin like the lower part of my eyeshadow. And already I have hooded lids, so you know, I need color on that area of my eyes much more than anything else, because that's the only part that's visible right there by the base of my lashes. I'm gonna curl my lashes first, and the reason why I fix up the eyeshadow is because I curl my lashes quite a bit, because again, they're stick straight and they like not to hold a curl, just like there's in my hair. If I curl my hair, it tends to lose the curl by the end of the day because my hair hates it. Alright, eyeshadow. Pick a book you think... No, eyeshadow. Pick a book with your favorite colors on the cover. So my favorite colors are black, red, gold, and white. And I have a few books in my collection that I really like the color of. But in terms of like the design, I also love a few designs. I love really dark covers with like abstract kind of designs, where it kind of gives you a hint of certain like items or stuff in the book that is very important or very pivotal to the story. So I actually like, for example, Stargirl Sisters of Tuscany. I really love the cover for this one because it has these reds, but it also has these greens and these oranges. It's a very warm color story, so I really like that one too. And then I have Empire of Dreams by Ray Carson. It's just a purely red and some gold accents on it that I really find so pretty. Plus the design of the overall cover is so nice. And then I also have Where Dreams Descend, especially the Owl Crate edition, where it's a naked hardcover. It's mostly black and it has these like red and gold accents all over it too. And for eyeshadow, I'm picking this one. This is the Whatever palette from Colourpop. It has the same kind of colors. It has like the reds, the deep reds, the golds. It has some bronzes, and also really has these really pretty neutrals. This really warm orange kind of red, and so I really like this one. This actual palette, this is their fall palette last year or the other year. I think it's the other year, and I really like this one particularly, so I picked this one to go with kind of the other books or the colors that I really like for books. Other books that I have, These Violent Lies by Chloe Gong. It's mostly black, and then it has these like roses and flowers and the sword, beautiful. And then Suggested Reading by Dave Connis. It has this really cool what is it, kind of a rugged library or a rugged bookshelves design that I really like. So that one too, I really enjoy the colors. It's mostly red and white, or red and black too. And then I also have the Shades of Magic series. They follow the sort of the colors of the Londons. So the spines are like white, red, and black, which I really like. And the covers also range from those colors, or like are a play on those two colors, on three colors, depending on the design too. So red, white, and black right there. I really like those colors. And this is actually one of my favorite palettes in my stash because of the colors. So I'm starting off with the shade Pass It On. It looks very orange on my phone, but it's like a warm brown. It is a little bit orange, but it's a lot more orange on screen than it really appears in real life. I don't know, maybe it's because of my screen. I do have a blue light filter on, so things on my phone has more orange than they really are because of the blue light filter. Why is that patching up, or is that just... Okay, so I'm gonna use it as transition. I take that way up because I do have hooded lids, and if I don't, you won't be able to see it. So I'm gonna taking that way up my crease. Okay, now I'm picking up Bad Guy, because it's one of my favorite shades in this palette, which is like a deep kind of violet red color. It looks more red on my screen, but it's like it also has that hint of purple, deep purple on it. I'm gonna take that all over my mobile lid. Alright, so now I'm taking probably also my favorite shade in the palette, which is this one right here called Adichie. It's like, how do you describe it? It's a warm, slightly bronze gold color that I really like. I'm gonna take that with my finger, then put that in the middle of my eyelid, and I like to take that up on top right there too, because you can't see it, and then blend it out all over my lid. And then same thing on the other side. I don't know if you can see it. I really like glitter on my eye, especially glitters that have really like diverse color reflex. They just look so pretty when they catch the light all over. And then I like to take a type of brush like this, kind of like a pointed blender brush, and I like to take the same shade, Chanel, and bring that inner lower lash line or lower lid, actually more than halfway through. Alright, and then for my inner corner highlight, I'm gonna take this brush. I really like this one. This is from Real Techniques. Their Essential Crease brush. It's like a really tiny brush. Cool focus. Nope. And then I'm gonna take this one. This is a pressed Super Shock Shadow. This is a Super Shock Shadow. This is in Tardy. I'm gonna pick that on my brush. Put that on the inner corner. I like to bring my inner corner highlight right here too. Kind of skip that in there. I got that from Ali Glines. She calls it the scoopity boopity technique she does. Kind of just highlights the inner corner a lot more pretty. Okay, so that's it for the eyeshadow. Next question is eyeliner. I don't really wear eyeliner, but for the sake of this video, I will be taking this one from Essence. I'm just gonna be tight lining, and then the question for that one is pick a dark and mysterious book. Okay, drop that. Of course, I'm dropping stuff. Okay. So one of the recent ones that I've read is Night House by Leigh Bardugo. It's very much hyped up, so I think a lot of people know about that already. I really enjoyed that one. It's like slightly dark academia vibes with like, because it's set in Yale and it's talking about secret societies and murder mystery, so I really enjoy that one. And then I also have Girl's Guide to Murder. This one is not as dark as Night House, but it does deal with a very dark, heavy topic of a murder that happened years before in this small town. And one of our main character, I think her name is Pippa, she decides to mask her investigation as like as this final project for high school that she has for school. She wants to investigate it, but she doesn't phrase it that way for her final project because the people here don't really want to talk about it anymore. The people in their town didn't want to talk about it anymore. So she learns more about the case and, you know, stuff that not a lot of people in the public know, but the police force know, that kind of changes the narratives of the whole murder case. So I really enjoyed that one. I had a lot of fun reading it, but it also deals with a really heavy topic as well. And then we also have No Place Like Home by Mary Higgins Clark. This is one of the very first adult mystery books that I read, and I stumbled upon it by accident on Steam. I just wanted to pick up a book and I decided to pick up that one. And I really enjoyed it, and I've read it years ago. And I've actually been wanting to pick up more Mary Higgins Clark's book because I really enjoyed that one. So it's also kind of small town vibes, where I think this woman that we follow, she used to live there as a kid, and then in the passing of I think her parents or grandparents, something or the other, she has to move back home to take care of their old house, something like that. Again, it's been years since I read it, but I really enjoyed that. Small town vibes too, and like haunted house vibes. So yeah, so that's for my eyeliner. Next one is mascara. Pick a long book. All right, long book. For mascara, I like these two kinds. One, I start with a waterproof one because again, my eyelashes don't like to stay up, and waterproof mascaras tend to be more on the drier side, so they don't like make the eyelashes hold down when you put them on, and I just like them a lot better because they hold the curl better, and I find that they're not as clumpy as other mascaras, because I prefer my lashes to look like I have like 10 million of my lashes rather than having 5 long ones. So we start with this one. This is the Maybelline Total Temptation in the waterproof formula. And then for the long book, I don't know if this really counts because it's an omnibus, so it's a collection of 3 books. But yeah, the Last Inheritance trilogy by N.K. Jemisin, that omnibus. But the last book in that series is like 600 pages, so yeah, it's still long. And then one of the more recent ones that I read, or another slightly more recent one that I read, is Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon, which I enjoyed as well. And oh, the Game of Thrones books. I read all of the books so far, and honestly, I want to read his other book that came out. I think it's Fire and Blood. I have it on my wish list, but I haven't had the time to buy it yet, or haven't had a chance to buy it yet. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, I don't know, like, because I read the entire, well, all the ones that have come out in the A Song of Ice and Fire series when I was in college. I, like, finished a book a week, and I was already in college, by the way, so, I was very busy, and they're very long books, but I had so much time just binge reading the entire series, and I really enjoyed it. It's just that, it takes him a while to release the books, but at least we kind of know that he's going to be writing it well. Like, it's gonna be very good. I haven't been disappointed so far from any of the books that he's released. There's always so much happening. I mean, it's already long enough, but it's like so condensed too. So yeah, the Song of Ice and Fire series, all the books are like 500 plus pages. So that one too. What else? Those are some long books that I read recently, or long books that I would recommend. And for my second mascara, let's use this one. This is one I got from BoxyCharm's wall. This is the Hank and Henry mascara. It's a double-ended one. So one is like a regular size mascara, and the other one is a tiny mascara. I'm gonna use the regular one. It doesn't have a name on it. It just says Hank and Henry. Oh, it says Slick With It mascara. Clout. Duo Clout. Clout? Clout? That's the name. It's kind of dry. But this is not waterproof, so it kind of weighs down my mascara, my lashes. So I like to use this in combination with waterproof mascaras. It's kind of dried out. I need to revive this one. I would just throw it away because it's been a while, but I don't really like throwing away products I've barely used. So I'm just gonna revive this one. I'm gonna like it, so. Alright, I'm done with mascara. Barely did anything because, again, it's really dried out. Did I go in with a different mascara? Let's go in with this one. This is the CoverGirl Lash Blast in the very black one. I really like this mascara too because it's one of those really separating ones. Gives you fluffy lashes that I prefer. I love. I guess that's that. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Blush. Before I do blush, I want to do bronzer first. So for bronzer, I'm using this one from e.l.f. This is the e.l.f. Prime Infused bronzer. I've had this for a long time and I'm almost done with it, which it's still taking a long time for me to finish this one. This is in Constantly Bronzed. And then for blush, I'll be using, what should we use? I think I should use this one from Flower. This is in the shade Spice Petal. It's a really beautiful kind of muted blush, brown pink blush. So I'm gonna use that one for blush. So the question for blush is, pick a book with cringeworthy romance. Okay. So recently, or like, I don't really read a lot of books with cringeworthy romance anymore. If it's cringy, I don't like it. So, it's not worthy, it's just cringy. But I used to really like them. Like, I love them a lot. I used to read a lot of like really heavy on the romance type fantasy that, recalling now, I could definitely say that they are cringy. Like the books from Jennifer L. Armentrout, the book series that is very similar to, what's that name? The Vampire Academy one. I think the first one is Half-Blood. I binge read the entire series, by the way. I really enjoyed it. I actually like it more than Vampire Academy. Did I say Vampire House? Vampire Academy. It was based on Vampire Academy. So I would say that one is cringeworthy. I mean, some people might say it's cringy, like the adult fantasy, adult romance reads that I like, but they're more sweet and endearing rather than cringe, Like, I really like Get a Life Chloe Brown, and I'm currently reading Take a Hint Danny Brown. I wouldn't say those are cringy, but I really like the romance there too. What else? Oh, House of Night. I wouldn't say it's cringeworthy. It's kind of one of those books that are like guilty pleasures. They're not the best, but I still read them. I finished the entire series. There's like, what, 11 books in that series? I finished all of them. I kind of got tired of the romance aspect though, but I enjoyed like what was happening in the world and stuff. Cause yeah. And then Twilight. I wouldn't say right now that it would be cringeworthy, but back then it was cringeworthy for me. So again, a lot of the cringe romance that I would say are cringy right now are like romance that I loved before. So I would say those series. I like to focus my blush on the outside and then kind of contour with it because I have a round face and that's the blush placement that works for me. But I also like to take it like across my cheeks a little bit and on my nose bridge and all over my face too. Just a little bit. Just like blend it in. Give a flush everywhere. Okay, next. Highlighter. I recently received my recent order. Anyway, that from ColourPop, and I bought this Super Shock Cheek highlighter in Wisp. It appears darker than I thought it would be, so I don't know if this will work as my highlighter. Hopefully it will. I use this one. So my answer for that one, a book that brightens my day. Right now I'm currently reading Take a Hint, Diana Brown, so definitely that one. And the first book in the series, Get a Life, Cora Brown. Those are just so cute. The romance is just so cute, and the characters are just so cute as well. So those, those ones. Oh, and also Becoming by Michelle Obama. I really enjoyed reading that book. It's motivational, but not in the way that kind of says, you know, get off your butt and work kind of motivation. It's a motivation that's like, that's a highlight, that says, you know, where you are right now in your life is where you need to be for you to get where you want to be. So keep doing what you're doing, working hard towards your goals. If right now you're taking a break or doing something that you didn't think would be what you need to do or what you imagined your life would be, it's fine. You're fine. You're good. You're gonna get to where you are. This is an experience that you need to have right now. That's why you're having this. It's kind of like, it might seem like you've taken the wrong path, and maybe you did, but it could also be the right path for you. So it's like, don't beat yourself up just because this is not what your planned life was like. So that's what I took on that book. So yeah, kind of made me feel just a little bit more or less, or like less anxious and less worried about, you know, my life in general. It's like, just, you're fine, you're okay. Kind of like that. So yeah, it kind of works. It doesn't really give me, it works. Highlighter works. It's pretty. It's not giving me, take that on my cheeks, bridge of my nose, and a little bit on my forehead too. I like to focus it on the C right here. I don't take it way up because it doesn't really work for my face shape. It's really bright for some reason. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it properly. I feel like it's a little too light everywhere. I can't really see the reflect of the pale lipstick. Another one that I recently bought from ColourPop is this one. It's a Luxe lipstick in the shade CA Love. I don't know if it'll work for my skin tone too, but the question for that one is favorite book kiss. Again, from a recent one that the one that I'm currently reading is Take a Hint, Diana Brown. The first time that they kissed, oof. Yeah, that one. Oh, and Jennifer Armentrout books as well. She writes really good kiss scenes and like steamy scenes, you know. And oh, and I remember, I think it was Cricket series. I forgot the name of the author, but I remember reading the first book and enjoying this. I think it was even like an actual kiss scene. It's like a pretend kiss scene, which was I really enjoyed it too. What else? In the Holidays, I enjoyed the kiss scene in that one too. And yeah, Take a Hint, Diana Brown, and Get a Life, Cora Brown. So this is the lipstick that I'll be using. Hopefully it's not too light on me. It looks a lot more red online. I don't know what that's about. So yeah, CA Love. There we go. I think it looks a lot more red once you apply it. I didn't expect a more like burnt type of color. This is pretty too. I like this one. I think it matches well with the rest of the face. Okay, I think I need more mascara. Like, I just need a little bit more on my lashes. So let's take this one from Essence, this Lash Princess, and of course the waterproof formula. Just need a little bit more. Okay, I think that's better. I think eyebrows, so I need a little bit more on my eyebrows. Alright, so that is it for this video. Finish my makeup. Hold on. I need a setting spray. Setting spray. I'm using this one from In Beauty Project Power Up Dual Face Setting Mist. So it's glow, hydrate, and energize. So you can use it all over or throughout the day. Almost done with it. I got it from a box too. So I'm just using it to kind of set everything down. I really like the smell too. Kind of smells like lemonade. I like to fan my face because if it stays too long on my skin, it kind of doesn't work with the mascara too. So there we have it. This is my makeup for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and let me know what you guys think of, yeah, the whole video, etc. And if you guys want to do this tag too, I don't really know who to tag, so if you're watching this and you enjoyed watching and you want to do the tag as well, do it and let me know down below so I can watch it too. And I really had fun doing this tag, and I feel like this is a tag that I want to do every year, kind of like an update also on like what I'm currently reading and like my new favorites, etc. So yeah, that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you on my next one. Bye.